Preparation for the morning lesson out of the writings of Rabash, Volume 2, Article 42. Shalom, and all the best, Selah, to my friend. At this time, just before Shavuot, which is the time of the giving of our Torah, I wish to write a few words to you. The preparation for the reception of Torah, which is our duty, concerns fear. As it is written, and the people stood as one man with one heart, which means that they all had one goal, namely, to benefit the Creator. And we must understand how to become as one man with one heart, since our sages said, as their faces are not the same, so also are their opinions. So how could they become as one man with one heart? Answer: if we mean that each one takes care of his own needs, it is impossible to be as one man, since there is no equivalence of form. But when each one annuls his own rights and is only concerned with how to benefit the Creator, their opinions are no longer personal, since all their personal opinions have been annulled, and they all merge into one entity. And this is why it is written that the opinions of the guests are opposed to the knowledge of the Torah, since the knowledge of the Torah is the annulment of self. And as the sages said concerning, when a man dies in the tent, the Torah does not exist, except when one is willing to die for her, namely, that he dies to self, meaning to benefit himself, and all that he does is only for the sake of heaven. And this is called preparation for the reception of Torah.
אנחנו מרגישים את המציאות בתוך הכלי שלנו.
We feel reality within our kli called the will to receive.
שכל אחד ואחד מלכתחילה קיבל את הכלי הזה.
That each and every one
משרת אותו.
got this kli to begin with and serves it, meaning does everything in order for this kli to be as full as possible, and always calculates, what do I have to invest in order to get in return? Is it worthwhile or not? How much do I have to put in order to see a good fulfillment in the kli? That's how we exist from one moment to the next. If we reach a state that we can nullify this kli, and its nullification can happen only if we connect, then we start finding in the connection between us a gap, a void, new voids that didn't exist before, because we looked at everything and discovered everything only in the will to receive that dwells in matter and the still, vegetative, animate, and the speaking. Out of which we got the impression of our inner reality, even though that it seems to us as the external reality. It's not an external reality, but it's internal. It's that which is perceived within my personal, particular will to receive, and that's how I feel it. Where the still, vegetative, animate, and the speaking, these are my degrees of Shosh, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet of the will to receive, in which this is the way that I feel reality.
שאנחנו מתחילים לבטל את עצמנו
But
ולרצות
besides that, when we start
להיות
nullifying ourselves
מחוברים בינינו,
and we wish to be connected
זאת אומרת,
between
לבטל
us,
רצון לקבל בינינו,
meaning
זאת אומרת,
nullifying the will to
שבינינו, בין
receive
כל
between
אחד
us,
ואחד,
meaning that between all of us,
נראה לנו
between each and every one of us, it
שיש
seems to us
רצון
that there's a
לקבל,
desire to
שאני
receive,
ממש מנותק מהזולת,
where I'm truly
מהחיים,
disconnected from others,
ובעל כורחי דואג רק
and
לעצמי.
against my will, I care only for
אם
myself.
אני משתדל לבטל
If I try
את הנטייה הזאת,
to nullify this
כדי
inclination
להגיע
in order to
לחיבור שם עם הבורא,
reach a connection with the Creator
מתוך הביטול,
within the nullification,
אז אני מגלה שיש שם
then I discover that
חלל
there
אחר.
is a different void.
חלל של רצון לקבל
Instead of the
שבינינו,
void of the will
בין
to
כל אחד
receive
ואחרים.
between us, between each and every one of us and all the others,
אז אני מתחיל להרגיש שאני נמצא
then I
בחלל
start
חדש,
feeling that I'm in
שהוא כמו ים של כוחות
that I'm in a
ההשפעה.
new space, which is like an
שבסך
ocean
הכל כל הכוחות
of
האלו,
the forces of bestow,
שהם
where
מתחילים להתגלות בביטול
from the
האגו,
sum total of all these forces
הם
that
מביאים לי
are
הרגשת
revealed
הבורא.
once the ego is nullified, that brings me, gives me the feeling of the
אני
Creator.
מקבל קצת רושם מזה,
And I get some impression from it.
כדי באמת לגלות
But in
אותו,
order to really
אני צריך
reveal
אמצעי
him,
חזק
I need a strong means,
לבטל את האגו,
because to
ולהשתמש בו אני יכול רק על
nullify
ידי
the ego and to use
הרוח
it,
העליון.
this is something that I can do only by the higher force.
שום סיכוי, שום
For me,
אפשרות
for myself, I discover that there is no
והבנה
possibility, no force,
להגיע
no understanding.
לביטול. לכן אין התורה מתקיימת אלא במי שממית את עצמו
That I
עליה.
have none of these in order to achieve nullification.
אבל
And where it says that the Torah is revealed only to those who are prepared to put themselves to death on it. But in order to put oneself to death each and every time over the Torah, each and every moment, meaning for the sake of correction, for this I need the higher force.
לכן דעת תורה והפוכה מדעת בעל הבית.
Therefore, the opinion of Torah is opposite to the opinion of the landlords.
את
When a person starts
ההבחנות על ידי
getting the different discernments
האור,
by the force of the light,
אז אצלו גם רגש וגם שכל,
then for him, both the heart and the mind, they become completely different. They become new.
הוא
And he,
אז רק אז מבין
then and only then does he understand
כל הסתירות
how all the contradictions
שהיו לו הם היו רק
all the contradictions that he had, they were only as stimulations
שיבוא לפתרונם,
in order for him to
אבל לפתור אותם
come to their solution. But
רק בהשגת
the only way it's truly possible to solve them is by the attainment of the upper light.
אז אנחנו
So
בכל זאת נמצאים
we're
כענב
nevertheless as a root and branch
השבועות, חג מתן תורה,
on the holiday of Shavuot, the holiday of the giving of the Torah. Wednesday, right?
יום רביעי,
No, Wednesday.
שלישי ערב חג, כן, ורביעי
Tuesday is the holiday eve, and Wednesday is Shavuot.
כמו שאנחנו לומדים, הוא מתחלק לשניים, ליום ולילה.
A holiday, like we learn, it divides into two day and night. Night is called the days of the exile, which accumulate to the day of Shavuot. Therefore, we study on Shavuot Eve at night. That we kind of want to we want to sum up the exile. We want to reach that. And then, by reaching the sum total of the exile, that we've invested enough probably into the self-nullification that someone who wants to live should put himself to death. Then we reach the day where that night, those very kelim, they become the kelim of revelation. And that's how we come to the holiday of Shavuot, the holiday of Matan Torah, that from there on we start gradually to go and correct all the flaws and learn every time to what extent can we become like the Creator atop that which is revealed, that we're different from Him. The difference between what's different and what's similar gives me the depth for the attainment of the Creator, and then in that depth we achieve adhesion.